Hello friends, my name is Flores. Welcome to Headspace. Having lived through civil war, refugee camp, a lot of personal trauma, some of it self-induced unfortunately, I know a thing or two about anxiety. And I'm going to share with you 5 moves that I use to crush anxiety and to watch it dissipate, very quickly. But before I do, subscribe to the channel, help us grow it, share it with others, leave us some comments, leave us some reviews if you listen to this on a podcast. Welcome to Headspace. If you are a world changer, an artist, an entrepreneur, a business leader, you will absolutely battle anxiety. I can guarantee you that, and you better figure out ways to crush it and watch it dissipate. Now, I have built 3 different companies, 2 nonprofits. We coach business leaders all the time, and it happens over and over again in every single journey. You cannot escape it. So it's good to develop ways and methods and tools and hacks to be able to recognize it and to be able to crush it quickly. Okay, so I'm gonna refer to something that really helped me early on. 2 authors, Seth Godin, he's a marketing genius, Steven Pressfield, he's an amazing storyteller, and this book, The War of Art, Breaking Through Blocks and Winning Inner Creative Battles. This book introduces this term called resistance. And the term resistance is this it's a spiritual term actually, right? But it's explained in plain language. Even if you're not a spiritual person, you'll understand what it is. And it's basically this. If you are adding value, if you're growing, and if your direction is upward, you will immediately elicit a downward pressure. And that is called resistance. Anytime you want to start a new business, write a new book, release a new product or an offering, create a song, write a painting, anything that is upward will absolutely guarantee it automatically elicit resistance. Resistance is this downward pressure, and you feel this anxiety, this questioning of everything. I'm not good enough. Why am I doing this in the first place? People are gonna hate this. I'm gonna fail. Some of it is basically this impostor syndrome type stuff, right? People are gonna find out that I'm an absolute imposter, I'm not good at this. So all these irrational waves of anxiety that come upon you when you're pushing forward, pushing upward, is what I'm talking about right now. And resistance is the term that I use because the first thing you need to understand when you're dealing with an anxiety attack, or sometimes what it feels like it's an anxiety assault, is this is normal. And the best move, the first move, I guess, is to acknowledge it, right? Is to let it flow through you and go, okay, this is what I'm experiencing right now, and this is normal. Next is the 5 moves that I'm gonna share with you in a second. When you feel resistance in your life, you need to get up and go, get vertical. There are no horizontal solutions to a vertical problem. You move. And these are the moves that you actually make. You move your soul through prayer, your body through exercise, your mind through learning, your relationships through conversation, and your work through action. I'm gonna break those down for you. The first move I make is prayer. I'm a Christian, I'm a spiritual person. Prayer not only precedes everything, but it seeds everything because it's the very core of who you are. In Philippians 4:6, it says, do not be anxious about anything. What's the antidote? But in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. So you're feeling all this stuff, you have this wave of anxiety, of self-doubt, of depression even, and you just pray. And what I do is I just say, this is what I'm feeling. This is what I'm thinking. And I know it's not true and I want to change from the inside out. So I pray to God and I thank Him for the things that I have. And slowly I see step by step, my mind change, the reality resets and my heart changes and then my emotion change. So if you're not a spiritual person, you can meditate. Now, it's comparing this to this, but meditating is basically resetting the way you think from a lie to a truth, from the way things are feeling to the way things really are. The second thing you do to combat anxiety is to move your body through exercise. And why is that? It's very simple. It's just brain chemistry, right? When you exercise, you release endorphins, you start feeling very differently about things. That's why I've sort of incorporated this meticulous exercise regimen. It's not a big deal. It's not like this crazy thing, but it's a rhythm, right? I exercise Mondays and Wednesdays and Fridays, and then I walk in between. I go on long walks. I can go on bike rides with Deb, my wife. So it's sort of this normal flow of life. And what it does, it sort of creates a habit that combats depression by default. So it's a huge, huge deal to move your body through exercise. The third thing I do to crush anxiety is to move my mind through learning. Now, anyone who is up to anything good, if you're a builder, if you're a doer, you are probably a reader, right? I have a long list of authors that I go back to and revisit every once in a while. So if I'm in a place of anxiety, I'm in a place of opportunity because I'm particularly humble and receptive to certain ideas. So what I do is I think, okay, in this particular place, who is a mentor, a author, a builder who has insights that will really, really help me now? And I'll go and find that author in that book, in that audiobook or that podcast, and I will listen to it over and over and over again. And it just shifts the way I'm thinking and my mind sort of resets. Another thing I do to crush anxiety is to move my relationships through conversation. I'm an introvert. My natural tendency is to sort of shrink and withdraw if I'm feeling anxious, right? So through conviction, I do the opposite. I have an amazing group of mentors, coaches, friends, peers, partners, whom I cherish and I've invested very, very, very meticulously into their lives over the years. So they are the blessing, the treasure that I have in my life. So when I feel particularly fragile, I will absolutely 100% call, and I'm telling you, I will call within the hour of the moment where I feel that attack. And I will reach out and I'll say, hey, here's what I'm feeling, here's the context, here's what triggered it, help me. And I always get help. And it's just a tremendous transformational thing to have in your toolbox. And what I'll tell you is that if you feel resistance on a regular basis, never ever go through it and work through it alone, ever. Reach out and move your relationships through conversation. Just engage. You might not get all of the answers, but you will absolutely have a shift in the way you're thinking about things. The last thing you can do to crush anxiety is to move your work through action. When you're about to launch something new, there's always resistance. There's always this very irrational wave of, this is gonna fail, I'm a failure, what am I even doing? What are people going to think? This storm of irrational thinking comes across almost any creator, any builder, any entrepreneur, right? So what you do is you do the opposite. You just move forward. You keep moving. You act, you take the next step, trusting in the process. And one of the biggest mistakes that many people do, especially startup founders, is that they just don't launch. And they just go back and go, okay, we need to review the functionality or the features, or, oh, I need to remix this creative work of art. And it's a classic mistake to not move forward. And what you absolutely need to do is you need to take the next step. Move your work forward through action. Trust the process. I hope this has helped you rethink and reframe the way you deal with anxiety. If my references to refugee camp and civil war and all that drama piqued your interest, check out my episode about my life story, because I sort of unpack the whole crazy story there. If you're a founder, one of the most anxiety-inducing things you can do is try to raise capital. So I wanted to bring to your attention that we have an amazing masterclass and offering for founders trying to raise capital that's going to 10x your ability to do that. We also have a free webinar that sort of lists the things that you do all the time, classic mistakes of founders, that will literally guarantee that you will never raise capital ever in your life. Both of those links are going to be in the show notes. For the rest of you, thank you so much for following Headspace. Please subscribe, share, leave us comments, ideas, notes, anything. We appreciate all kinds of interaction. Thank you so much for following Headspace.